Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hot Corner. My name is Mike, and we're going to do another Clearing the Bases episode. This is actually episode number 37. In these episodes, we talk about our in-person signings, whether we go to a paid signing at the LCS, radio shows, local podcasts that are held by our LCS, and Alumni Weekend, which we will explain when we get to it. So the first thing we went to was a radio show called the Bull Session, and the special guest was Mr. Garry Maddox. So I was able to get the Secretary of Defense, Garry Maddox, to sign this 1983 Don Russ in blue ink. Also got him to sign this 1978 Topps in blue ink. And then I got this oversized Phillies card in blue ink. So the host was Gary Matthews, and I didn't even waste my time with him because the last time he gave me attitude, and I don't feel like dealing with that, so didn't do it. Next thing I went to was a show down at the Philly airport, and it's called the Authentic Expo. I'll tag Sal in this video so he can see what I got. First time show, it was the 93-83 reunion, and I got my book signed. I ain't an athlete, lady. And this is by John Kruk, as you can see there. It's his well-rounded life and time. So if you've never read this book is hilarious, and I highly recommend it. John is great. He is now an announcer for the Phillies. And I got him to sign it beautifully in blue ink. So, very happy to add that to the collection. At that show, I picked up this sweet Jim Fregosi 8x10 photo file, signed right there in blue ink. I picked this up for about 15 bucks. But I needed Mr. Fregosi on an 8x10. I figure I have Dallas Green, and I figure I have Charlie Manuel, so why not get Jim Fregosi? And then also there signing was Phillies reliever Ricky Bottalico. So he signed that scorecard for me in blue ink. So Ricky works for a local radio station, and he was signed in from 9 to 12 for free. So I gave Ricky 2 cards. He signed that Topps card beautifully in blue ink. He was 96 All-Star. Okay. Let's talk about Alumni Weekend. So the Phillies were honoring the 1983 NLC champs and the 1993 NLC champs. So they invited a lot of the guys back. What I do is I get a ticket in the Hall of Fame Club, and I stand with a couple of friends, and we literally stand for the whole game between the suite and the dining room. And I sit there with a binder full of cards, and I wait for these players to come, and they are gracious, and they sign. And let's show you what I got. So we're going to start with the 1980 team, a couple Wall of Famers. I got Mr. Larry Boa to sign this card beautifully in blue ink. I picked this up the day of the show for 50 cents. So pretty happy to get that with Mr. Boa's signature on there. So thank you, Larry. Also picked up 1980 World Series champ, Mr. Greg Gross, pinch hitter extraordinaire. He signed my Burger King Topps card. Picked that up at the same card show. But pretty cool. It's got the Burger King logo. Something they did with Topps. And then the Phillies have autograph stations. So I'm not going to go in any particular order, but I got Mr. Gross beautifully in blue ink on this alumni postcard. They had stations around the ballpark. I hit 9 of them. I didn't bring anything pretty much that day. So they give out these free postcards, and Mr. Gross signed that beautifully in blue ink. So thank you, Mr. Greg Gross. I also met last year's Wall of Fame recipient, Mr. Ron Reed. So he signed that 83 Don Russ in blue ink. He also played in the NBA. So that's pretty cool. A couple years before that, Mr. Manny Trio, 1980 World Series champ, went in the Wall of Fame. Signed that Topps card in blue ink. The great LC, Larry Christensen, 1980 World Series champ. Signed that Topps card beautifully in blue ink. And then I also got him on one of the alumni postcards because he was at a station. So thank you, Larry. And then final member of the 1980 World Series team, Mr. Marty Bystrom. So he signed that for me in blue ink. It's a pretty sweet card. He was a rookie in 1980. Let's go on to the 1983 team. Mr. Ozzie Virgil. He signed that Fleer card for me in beautiful blue ink. Mr. Steve Jeltz signed that 1987 Donruss in blue ink. He also signed my 1989 Upper Deck in blue ink. And my 89 Donruss in blue ink. So thank you, Mr. Steve Jeltz. Then I got Mr. Bobby Denier on the 89 Fleer. I got to talk to Bobby for a little bit. I told him one of my greatest memories was when he had an inside the park home run at the Vet, and then when he scored, he was slapping the base at home plate, so that was pretty cool. And he was very nice to sign that for me. Also met Mr. Kevin Gross. He signed my 89 Donruss All-Star card in blue ink. He also signed my 89 Donruss MVP card in blue ink. And then this 1987 Tasty Cake postcard Phillies photo card in blue ink. So thank you, Mr. Gross. Mr. 5-for-1 Von Hayes. He signed this Fleer Superstars card in blue ink. I thought this card was pretty neat. It was a game winner, little insert card, so I got it signed. And then he also signed my 1986 postcard from Tasty Cake. Like getting the postcards signed. And then he was also at one of the stations, so I got one of his alumni postcards. So Mr. Von Hayes, thank you. And I also met former Phillies coach, All-Star, Wall of Famer, Mr. Juan Samuel. So he signed that in blue ink for me. And then I got him to sign my Topps Wall of Fame insert set that they gave out at Alumni Weekend a couple years ago. So I have a couple of these now. So very happy to add Mr. Samuel. And then I also added Mr. Mike Lieberthal on his postcard. So very happy to add Mr. Mike Lieberthal. He is in the Wall of Fame, Phillies catcher. Then I got the owner of the Phillies, Mr. John Middleton, with the 2022 NL trophy. So he was like, is this going to come out? And I was like, yeah, I have a bronze Sharpie, so just signed it in the dark. So very happy to get the owner of the Phillies. Now on to the 93 team. The most beloved team in Phillies history. Probably more beloved than the 80 World Series team and the 2008 team. These guys just gave out their heart when they played. So I got third baseman Dave Hollins to sign his 1990 Donruss the Rookies card. I got Mr. Tommy Green, starting pitcher, on this card. I also got him on the 93 Donruss in blue ink. And then this Upper Deck card in blue ink. So thank you, Mr. Tommy Green. And I was also able to get 1993 second baseman Mickey Morandini. So he signed this Fleer Ultra card in blue ink for me. And then I got him on his Topps Big when he was on Team USA. So that's pretty sweet. Shout out to Hugo, Mickey Morandini, buddy. This guy I chased down the hallway because I knew who he was, but nobody was getting his autograph. and I had a special card that I wanted him to sign. So I have this 1991 Diamond King of Mr. Bobby Thigpen. He played on the 93 team, didn't pitch that many games, but was invited back to the reunion, and I love my Diamond King cards with ink, so happy to add Mr. Thigpen to the collection. And then I also got him to sign the 91 Donruss Series 2 highlights card when he broke the record for most saves in a season. I believe he had 56 in 1990. 57. So that's pretty cool. And then I was able to add Mr. Milt Thompson on the Fleer Ultra card. He signed that beautifully in blue ink. The other second baseman for the 93 team, Mr. Mariano Duncan, signed that 92 Upper Deck, 93 Upper Deck in blue ink. He walked past me like 3 times, but he promised he would come back and sign. That's Mr. Danny Jackson. He likes to Hulk it up. He famously ripped off his Phillies jersey and did the Hulk Hogan pose after we won in the NLCS. So, starting pitcher, former All-Star. And then when I was walking into the stadium, he was playing cornhole, so I got him to sign my postcard that I've had since 1993. The shortstop for the 93 team, Mr. Kevin Stocker, he was a rookie. They called him up when Juan Bell wasn't doing anything, and he fit into that team. All he had to do was use his glove, and he hit over 300 that year, so he was a welcome addition. Great for a rookie to step it up. He signed the Topps card for me. He also signed this Classic Best card for me. He is now the radio announcer for the Phillies on the road. And then he signed my 1997 Phillies postcard. I like these because that's the first year of interleague play, so it's got the American League versus the National League dueling logo. Then I met Mr. Ricky Jordan, one of the first basemen behind John Kruk, at one of the alumni stations, and he signed his postcard in blue ink for me. And then I had this postcard of him from 1990. So I was very happy to add him to the collection. And I got Mr. Big Ben Rivera also at cornhole. He was playing against Danny Jackson. I had 2 cards for him, but I only brought 1 because I didn't know how much I would get around on Sunday, but didn't have Hall of Fame tickets, but they had autograph stations, so I was able to get Mr. Rivera. And then I got Mr. Jim Eisenreich to sign his photo card, alumni card. All right, the big score of the weekend. I got him a couple times at Alumni Weekend, and then he was a guest at the radio show on Monday. And that was former Phillies Wall of Famer, Mr. Bobby Abreu. So I got him to sign this postcard in blue ink. Also got him on this 2006 postcard in blue ink. So I got him over a couple periods of days, so don't think I got them all at once. I got him on this Fleer Ultra Veteran Stadium All Vet insert card in blue ink. I got him on this 2002 8.5 by 11 photo card. These used to come in with the programs, and a couple years ago the Phillies sold the set. I have number 5 of 2700, so I have the whole set of number 5s, and I have a lot of these signed, but was happy to add Mr. Abreu. And then at the radio show I got Mr. Abreu to sweet spot my ball. He won the Gold Glove. He won the Home Run Derby in 2005. He was a 2-time All-Star. Very happy to add him. And then finally last night, was supposed to meet Charlie Manuel, but he was sick. But the podcast went on, and I was actually a guest, so I'll leave the link to that below because I talked about the Hot Corner. And I answered a trivia question, so I won this wall of fame print of Mr. Charlie Manuel. So Charlie rescheduled. We'll be back in September with Larry Boa, and we will add him to the piece that we were going to bring last night. All right, guys. Sorry this went so long, but we had a lot to cover. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know which one was your favorite. I got to say mine was Bobby Abreu. He was always on my autograph want list, and I got him 5 times this past weekend. So, I'm very happy. That wraps up this edition of the Hot Corner, guys. As always on the Hot Corner, I am out of here. Out of here.